Hi, guys. Here's my dog, Buddy. Say hello, Buddy. Okay, let me bring my friends on before I get crushed here. Here's Anthony and Joe. And
Hello,
Eddie
everybody.
said he might come on, but he's old and tired, but he might come on.
Hello, everybody.
But anyway, we got the three of us here.
Four of us.
I got to get this dog off my lap because he's too heavy. Every time I go to the vet, this is where he has to sit. He jumps right on my lap. Okay, get down. Get down. Attaboy. Okay.
Tell Eddie we replaced him with a dog.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Rick Simon said, hi, buddy.
Yeah, you're supposed to say my buddy.
All right, tonight, before we go on, your brother's probably watching, right, Anthony?
He probably is.
All right, because what happened, I talk about Aaron Wagman, one of my owners, and he's the one that owned Wildwood Jeb and bought all them horses and was a great guy, had a great business, great guy, spread the money around, really good guy. And he was the one that gave me and Davey a third of everything. I mean, he was just a good guy. So anyway, the other day, I get a message from his daughter, who I never met, and here's what she said. She said, "Hi, Larry. I'm Aaron's daughter, Michelle. I just recently found Wildwood Jeb's picture, which is this picture right here. She sent it to me. That's the picture right there. And she said, and found your podcast. So far, you've only had the nicest things to say about my dad. Hope you're well. You look great." And I sent her back a message. Your father was a good man. He was one of the most generous, respectful, kindest, and stand-up men I knew. Stay well. And that was that. And this is the picture she sent me of Wildwood Jeb. And I think your brother, Anthony, took care of him. Yeah. That's what he said, for a while, because there was a couple of different, So anyway, Michelle, thank you for the nice words. And your father was a good man, and he died too soon. He died, I think, I'm not sure, but I heard that he died. He had diabetes, really bad. This is what they told me. I don't know if it's true or not, but they said he died from diabetes, and he was just a good guy. Anyway, so I thought that if your brother's looking, there's the picture there. In fact, maybe your brother must have took it. I don't remember who took it. That's it right up.
My brother's got a couple of pictures of him, and he sent one to you. It wasn't that one, but he sent you one that from in Florida when you were in Florida.
Okay. I want to put up something that's interesting. I have two interesting things that I want to put up. And I run across this when I started the private club I had called the Bullshit Club. And it was a club, I talked about it a little bit. It was a club where we were going to make a documentary about bullshit. And I asked everybody to send in the biggest bullshit artist or the biggest bullshit story that they know. And we were going to expose all the bullshit artists. So anyway, I ran across this. This is pretty interesting. Now, let me know. Can you see this, Anthony and Joe?
I could read that. Yeah, I could see it.
All right, read it. Read it.
In today's world of downsizing, right-sizing, and cutbacks, we are expected to give more than 100% of our job and our commitments. But have you ever wondered how one is able to give more than 100% if the whole really is 100%? Well, the smart guys I work with figured it out, and here is the answer. And it says assign each letter its number value as follows. And it goes through the alphabet with each number underneath it, like a 1 under A, a 2
Each letter of the alphabet is numbered.
right, 1 through 26.
Mhm.
It says if you do the math, then hard work, 8 plus 1 plus 18 plus 4 plus 23 plus 15 plus 18 plus 11 equals 98% only. And
Now
all the
that means just so to get it clear, each one of them numbers represent the letter in the word hard work. That's how they come up with that, right?
right,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, so go ahead.
And all the studying you did leads to knowledge, which is 11 plus 14 plus 15 plus 23 plus 12 plus 5 plus 4 plus 7 plus 5 equals 96%. To get to 100%, you need the following attitude: 1 plus 20 plus 20 plus 9 plus 20 plus 21 plus 4 plus 5 equals 100%. But even with the attitude, you will still no longer, you will still not over the magic 100% that you were expected to give. So here is the secret: bullshit. 2 plus 21 plus 12 plus 12 plus 19 plus 8 plus 9 plus 20 equals 103%. Now you know how some people consistently give more than 100%.
Very good.
All right. Now my dog won't get off my lap. Say hello, buddy. Say hello to
Buddy.
everybody. Look at the television.
Buddy,
He's a lot better now, and everybody knows he got attacked by a
Yeah,
dog.
he got
The dog
attacked by
grabbed him. The
that-
dog
that-
grabbed him right behind it, right here. Dog grabbed him, and he wouldn't let go. And the dog, and he didn't have a collar on. I couldn't get him off, and it was a mess. He got all busted up pretty good, but he's all healed up now. But buddy, you can't stay on. You got to get down. Now stay down now. Stay down. Good dog.
Good
Oh
dog.
boy. All right, now before Eddie's not going to come on, I guess, but here's what I wanted. This is for Eddie, and this is true. I got invited by a friend of mine to a place in the city, and I couldn't believe it when he told me what it was. It was a club called the Spanking Club. And it's real. There's a couple of them in the city, and you go there, you pay $20, and they have all kinds of stuff. They have all kinds of stuff like this: spanking wooden paddles. They have a spanking bench. There's a mattress where you can lay and get spanked, and they even have a how to achieve self spanking, a book. And then they even sell shirts and underwear and everything. I'm pretty sure I deserve to be spanked. I can't believe it. They actually and they're packed. I think it costs $20 to get in. They're in some of the biggest hotels, the suites, and people go up there and they get
Into it. Yeah,
They
a lot
get-
of people are into that stuff.
so I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
My friend who wanted to take me is one of them. I'm not going to mention his name, but I couldn't believe it. He's a nice guy. If you looked at him, you'd never believe it. And then he goes to these spanking clubs. In fact, I think he ran one or two. It's unbelievable that people actually go into the city or live in a city, pay $20, and they get hit with paddles and Eddie. That's right up Eddie's alley. Maybe not now, but when he was younger.
A lot of people are sexually turned on by pain.
How the hell could Jesus Christ? I guess
They are. Yeah, that turns them on.
I went to places like that, but we use baseball bats, pool sticks,
Yeah.
and bottles of vodka, chairs.
right. Oh boy. Okay, now let's see. Next Thursday, Freddie Hudson's coming on with. It's going to be a very, very interesting show. Wait till you see the guy he's bringing on. and what his story is. And
Oh, we got a night off.
We got a night off, Joe.
yeah,
We'll go to the spanking club, Anthony. Me and you.
yeah,
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go get our ass kicked.
You know, when I flew out to California to get my book when they were going to make the movie, this was in 2019, and they read the book and all the money that I was wheeling and dealing and making and everything else. And my friend told me to make sure I say this because the answer I gave him, he thought it was hysterical. So he says, you gotta say that on your podcast because it's a great answer. So when they asked me what I did with all the money, I said my answer was I spent it on women and gambling, and the rest I wasted. Now, he thought for some reason that was a great answer. But anyway, it's the truth. The truth. I spent it on women and gambling, and
what else is there? There's nothing else.
Yeah, the rest I wasted.
You helped a lot of people though along the way too, so not all of it was wasted.
No, but putting money in the bank was a waste.
Yeah.
All right. You know, when I first started this podcast, I got a lot of messages from jockeys, exercise riders, and I didn't know how to handle it. From owners, 99% of them were in the thoroughbred business. And the reason I'm talking a little bit about horses now is because last week,
you're supposed to.
Well, yeah, you said it and Anthony said it. We got a lot of calls and a lot of responses. Stop with all the bullshit. Talk about horses. So that's why we'll get a little bit back into the horse thing now. But when I first started this, I got a lot of calls and a lot of letters and a lot of emails from jockeys, exercise riders, some trainers, some owners. And I didn't know how to handle it because I really didn't want to get involved. I said what I said. I did what I did. 90% of what I did was in the newspapers already. And my book already got picked up, and there was really no reason for me to continue, but I continued. But I didn't want to respond to any of these letters. So I just put them aside. And while I was looking for a couple of things that we might talk about tonight, I ran across one of the letters, and this was a response to one of the pages in the book. I think I mentioned it, that I didn't invent corruption. It was there long before I got there, and I'm just telling my story. So this was one of the letters I got, one of the emails I got. And I'm not going to mention the guy's name, but if he's listening, he'll know it's him. And here it goes. I live in Las Vegas. I'll call you later. Just briefly, I was a jockey agent. My rider mostly rode for Oscar Barrera. Oscar, his horses were in the same barn as John and Mary Carter. It was a long time ago, but I do remember the race-fixing allegations about Guarino, Jose Amy, Corte, and others. Please never use my name or phone number. Mike Hole, the jockey that they found dead in his car on the Parkway, Mike Hole never committed suicide, with no proof, but just hearing things. Cordero's wife, Marjorie Clayton, was killed by a hit-and-run driver who was never caught. You can draw your own conclusions. To this day, I'm terrified to talk about this, so I may or may not call you. Any questions you may have, I might answer, but one I will answer. Not sure what drugs Oscar used on his horses, but he would use an eyedropper to put drops in a horse's eyes on race day. My rider would tell me that the horses were totally different animals about an hour after the drops we used. Now, I got about 15 or 20 letters from different people, all pertaining to the same kind of stuff, what was going on back there, and what went on. And I really never want to get involved, but being we're still doing this podcast, and you got to, just like you told me as soon as we opened up, Joe, and you too, Anthony. The people that are listening want to hear about horse. They want to hear about horse stories. They don't want to hear about nothing else but horse stories. And so maybe we should try to, maybe not every podcast, but sprinkle it in here and there. Now I have a lot of stories, like I mentioned once before, that when you want to talk about world champions like Secretariat, I told you I knew the vet. I knew the vet that treated Secretariat, and I'm not going to go into detail now unless somebody asks me. But the same vet treated Kelso, and when Secretariat can get beat by ordinary horses, and then all of a sudden go unbelievable miles, it has. And they say, well, he had a heart twice as big as any other horse. Well, there's many, many, many times, and I did it myself when we took measurements of capacity, heart size. Nothing matters. None of that matters. It's the will of the horse or whatever it is, but it's certainly Secretariat didn't go to last quarter in that spectacular race that he won by 27 lengths because of his heart, the heart size. And he went to the last quarter as fast as the first quarter. And no other horse ever did what he did. But then again, he got beat by ordinary horses and everything else. And when you know the whole story, it's hard for me to put a horse like that on a pedestal compared to other horses that I knew were racing on hay and oats. And so, I don't know for sure, so I can't speak with authority. I can only, if you look outside and everything is wet, you don't have to be outside to know it's raining. You could see it from your window. If everything is wet, you can assume that it rained that night. And so that's it. If I knew for sure, the only thing I know for sure is I knew that Dr. Gerard was a veterinarian. I knew what Dr. Gerard was using. I knew what he did, and I knew who he was treating back then. And I think I know his whole story. I met him once or twice, and there's a lot I can say about him, and I have no problem saying it because he was in all the newspapers. And when he got caught doing a couple of things that I could talk about or not talk about, switching horses. He used to buy them from Uruguay, I think it was. They have no tattoos on them, so he bought two identical horses that looked identical. One was a rat for like $1,000 rat, and the other one was one of the best horses. And so when he found the best horse, he asked his agent to look for a real cheap horse that looked identical to the good horse. He bought both of them. And because they had no tattoos and there was no way to tell which one was which, unless you knew, he switched ownership when they got to his farm. And then one horse got to his farm. When both horses got to the farm, I'll tell you the story quick. I think it's kind of accurate. It was 50, 60, years before I remember this. And he had... I think they were in quarantine anyway. When they got to his farm, you have to have the state vet or whatever come over to examine them and everything, which he did. But the state vet was one of his best friends, so they just went through the motions. And the next day, one of them died, and he had them both insured as soon as they landed. They insured them before they even got here, and or maybe when they were here, they whatever. I don't remember. But he one horse died, and he said that it was the best horse that died, and I can't think of the name of the two horses. One was I forgot, and he said that because they weren't tattooed, they weren't, and when the state vet examined them, he named them. Well, he told him this is so and so and this is so and so. When one of them died, it was the one that he named that was named the cheaper horse, the better horse. So, according to the insurance company and the vet that examined him and everything else, the good horse was the one that died, who was insured for $100,000. So now he's left with the cheap one, but the cheap one was really the good one. And he put him in the race. I think it was a New York track, and he bet a lot of money on him, and the horse went for fun. And what happened was he was in the winner's circle. That horse was in the winner's circle, and they said that this was so-and-so's horse. He come from Uruguay and everything. And how he got caught was because a sports writer from Uruguay happened to watch that race, and he recognized that wasn't the horse that they said it was. It was the other horse. And he got caught. And he hired F. Lee Bailey. They went for a big, long trial. And he was found guilty, and he went to jail. And that's the same vet that treated Secretariat, Kelso, and two or three other. He worked for top stables. And guys like Oscar Barrera and all of them guys, I'm not saying they weren't good trainers, but when there's an edge that comes up, if you're a pool player and you have 30, 40 eyesight, and the guy comes to you just before $1 million match and says, "Look, I could put lenses in your eyes and you'll have 20/20." You're going to do it. You're going to do it. You're going to take the edge whenever the edge comes to you. And just like I said 1,000 times, and I believe this, when it comes to money, when it comes to profits, the line of morality moves, and it moves quickly. And that's the racehorse business, and that's really any business. When it comes to profits and money, the line of morality moves. I don't care what business it is, whether it's horse racing, baseball, hockey, basketball, IBM, anything. So, okay, that's it. Now,
there was a time that I raced two horses, a totally honest mistake, 3 weeks in a row. They all raced like they got in every week, and I raced the two horses the same night, 3 weeks in a row. But I just got the horses, and the guy told me the horse who has the blue halter on is so-and-so, and the horse who has the green halter on is so-and-so. So I took it at that. Well, what happened, when the shipper picked up the horses to ship them to me, evidently the halters got switched. So let's say one horse was Joe and one horse was Larry. And when I put Larry into race, but he was really Joe. So now I raced them 3 weeks in a row, and they both finished fourth. One finished fourth, one finished fifth, one finished sixth, one finished seventh. It really didn't make a difference. Like the fourth week, the tattoo guy says the horse finished third. Or I think the second or third. And they checked because it was a triple or a double, and they checked all the tattoos. He said, "Joe, the tattoo don't match." So I said, and they were both on Lasix. And I said to him, "Well, I just got these horses like 4 or 5 weeks ago, and I raced them every week." I said, "This is who I raced." And sure enough, there was a mistake made, and those horses raced under the other name each week. And it was like, it didn't make any difference. It wasn't nothing dishonest, but it was just an honest mistake. And no one picked it up because, first of all, it's very hard to read a tattoo under the lip. And most of those guys just go through the motion. They pick up the lip. This is when I had the tattoos under the lips. And they just went through the motion. But we raced these horses at least 3 starts each under the wrong name. They were programmed, everything. Everything was, and then we found out. So it happens, you know, a lot of times it happens on purpose,
Yeah.
but this was legit. It was an honest mistake.
So what happened to the horse, Joe? Did they take him down? Did anything
No,
happen?
they just let it be because it wasn't like they finished fourth and fifth. It didn't really make a difference.
Yeah, yeah.
They looked exactly the same. One was supposed to wear a 55-inch collar, the other was supposed to wear 55 and a half. They both had open bridles, shadow rolls. It was all, you know, like all
So
pretty
similar.
much the same.
Yeah.
You know, so when the judges called me in, I said, listen, you know, you call the guy I got them from. He'll confirm the story. I says, tonight it's news to me. I says, I just found this out tonight. But I did race these horses the last 3 starts, racing the wrong horses.
But at least you found out.
Yeah, well, eventually I would have found out, but
Yeah.
knowing the judges and how they were with me, you know, they would have nailed me to the cross.
Yeah.
You know, but it happened to be a decent guy that was the judge. It was Jimmy Michaels at the time. And I explained to him what happened. And he called the old trainer up and he told him the same exact story. And, you know, they let it go because it didn't really matter much.
Yeah.
But they just let it go.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it happens.
You know, the other thing I want to say is I mentioned it before on the air, on the podcast, and I know Anthony bought it. That was this book, Death of a Racehorse.
How was it, Ed?
And well, he just started. He just started
the first couple of chapters, but I mean, it's starting off real good. So
I ordered the CDs, and they send you this thing, very professionally done. I sent this thing here with 11 CDs in it, and it's the whole book because, like I told you that I had to get this thing that dropped because the dog will get it. The book is. Wait, I'll tell you right now. The book is.
Let's see how long it is on Audible.
Is over 300 pages, and the print is very small. So I wasn't ever going to read it, so I sent away for the CDs, and they send 11 CDs, I guess, for each chapter. And she goes, the little bit that I didn't listen to it yet, but the little bit that I read just in the cover, it's amazing because in this country, 2,000 horses die at racetracks every year. That's about 6 a day.
Wow.
That's like unbelievable. And then it goes on and on and on. She tackles all of this. I said 2 weeks ago I'd love to get her on the show, and but she's I can't wait to listen. I can't wait to listen to it. I got it, but I wish I could. I have to go. I got to go to South Jersey. I go to South Jersey a lot, but my car, the new cars, have no CD players in it.
No.
And so I don't. The last 2 cars I had no CD players in it. So
Yeah.
I don't know now to listen to this thing. I guess I'm going to have to buy a little portable CD player or something and just put it in the car when I drive. I don't know why they don't have a CD player.
Because they're obsolete now.
You're obsolete, yeah.
The last
I said
the
to get
last
it
time
on
they
Audible.
made it was 2006, I believe.
Well,
The last CD player.
why do they keep making CDs? Why don't they make them other little things? What do you call them things, Anthony? That you just
Little flash drive.
flash drive that you can plug. Because I got a million of them little holes in the dashboard where you can plug things in.
Yeah.
Got nothing to plug in.
No.
And I got a CD. So
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a company around. I got to ask if there's a company that I can give these 11 CDs to.
Larry, before you go through all that, yeah, if you want one day, we'll get on here. I'll walk you through getting Audible. You put it on your phone, and you can listen to it through the phone. If your car has Bluetooth, which I'm sure it does, you Bluetooth your phone to the car. You'll hear it on the speakers in the car.
You know why I don't want
wherever you go.
You know why I don't want nothing on my phone, Anthony? Because I get 30, 40 calls a day. And even when I'm doing the navigation on my phone, when I get a phone call, the navigation shuts off. I miss exits and everything. I just got to have I got to be separate. My phone has to be just to answer calls. So and I'm just going to get a little portable. In fact, maybe I'll go to the dealer and say, is there a way that they could put a CD player in?
I'll search it out. I'll see if there's a CD player that could run
Maybe
on
there's one that
USB.
could plug into the cigarette lighter or something like that.
That's what I'm saying. See if it'll plug into the USB.
Sure there is.
I got to find
I'm
out
sure.
There
because
got to be some kind of adapter kit.
Yeah.
I got to go an hour and a half away, and then coming back, I hit all that turnpike traffic because there's all construction. It takes me 2-3 hours to get back. I could listen to this.
I'll search it out.
All right.
I'll search it out.
What else you want to talk about?
Dominic says you can put those CDs on a flash drive.
Yeah. That would be great. I gotta find out. Maybe Staples or somebody could do it. I gotta find out. That would be good.
Yeah.
Now,
Put them on
we
a
gotta
flash
talk
drive.
about.
This way, you plug your flash drive in, it'll come over your speakers.
Yeah. All right. You know what? Let's go to the comments. Maybe somebody has some questions or something. So, Anthony, you see that good, right?
Yeah. Rick Simon says, hi, buddy. Jeffrey B., good morning, everyone. Rick Simon, hey, guys. Thanks, Anthony. David LaCroix, good evening, gentlemen. Eric.
Wait a minute. Hold it. What did this guy Eric say? Where is it?
Well, he's down there.
All right, go ahead. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Look out for Rob.
Yeah. Eric, Trump MAGA slogan should be changed to trust no one after his Muskhead turned Benedict Arnold. David LaCroix, shirt Larry. Bill McCarty, he looks adorable. I'm sure he's talking about Buddy. Angelique, Larry, Joe, and Anthony. Jeffrey B., throw that dog in the 8th race at Flagler Greyhound track. Jeffrey B., I got that from Our Lady of Fatima. The nuns did it to me for free. That's the spanking. Eric, how many of you know Peter Houghton is in Racing Hall of Fame? He wants to know if he's in the Racing Hall of Fame. Don't see how he deserved it and others are not. Jeffrey B., the nuns love giving spankings. Eric, Jeffrey B., I left Catholic school at the age of 16 and never looked back. Best decision I ever made. Christo Santos. Hey, Joe, don't look like we will be getting those 5,000 Doge checks. Looks like those checks are on Epstein's jet somewhere between Florida and the Bermuda Triangle. Oh, well, good luck at the Belmont. Gianna Catalano. Bonjour, Larry. Hope you're having a good night. Evening.
Buonasera.
Buonasera. Where am I? Buonasera. Okay. Angelique. Hello, Gianna. Michael. Hello, folks. Michael Morel. Gianna. Rick Simon. Got a CD player. Then plug an audio into the CD played headphones, then into the audio jack on the car stereo. Makes sense. Rick Simon, they make an audio cable like one that can plug into your phone, then the car radio. But the phone, he don't have it on the phone. Joe, good evening, friends. Quick question. Eric, to all of you, was religion ever discussed in the locker room? Jeffrey, to all of you, was religion ever discussed in the locker room?
I spoke to quite a few people in the locker room. I remember Brent Holland was an ordained minister, He was a Christian, and I had many conversations with him.
Jeffrey B. Larry would ever want to go to Yonkers one night or Monticello one afternoon?
I would go up to Monticello. I have absolutely no desire to go to Yonkers.
Yonkers, yeah.
Monticello, I would like to go up there just to see some of my old friends. I'd get up there early and make the rounds.
Well, yeah, we could see if our pictures are still in the stable gate.
Yeah. I just want to jog a horse again. I just want to jog a horse. Rick Simon, no, plug it into the CD portable disc, man, and then into the car stereo. No, I don't think I have a disc man anymore. Shit. Dave Guy, Joe, did you ever race at Vernon Downs? If so, your thoughts on racing out of the chute?
That was like a 7-8 mile racetrack, right?
Yeah. It was shaped like a P. In other words, you leave in a straightaway and you hit the first turn, and there's only 2 turns involved. You know, and it was different. I mean, I didn't particularly care for it, but it was, you know, different racing, but basically the same. I mean, it's just like the first 3/8 was a straightaway. That's basically what it was.
Joe DeTilio, sorry, horse changes leads in workouts. Also galloping, but never in a reach. Any clues?
What, say that again? Which is that?
Joe DeTilio. Sorry, horse changes leads in workouts. Also galloping, but never in a reach. Any clues?
He must mean race, right?
I guess.
But never in a race? That's what it should mean, right?
Yeah, and it says reach, probably it means race, yeah.
But never in a race.
Yeah. My brother wants to know whatever happened to George Berkner.
George Berkner died.
He died?
Did he?
Let me answer this guy's question.
Yeah,
He had BG's bunny.
Yeah, let me answer, and then I'll tell you about George Berkner.
Okay.
We were good friends. All right, where's this question now?
It's right above Dominic's.
Where the hell is Dominic's? Okay, I see it. I see it. Horse keeps moving.
Yeah.
Where the hell did it go?
It's still above Dominic. It's just that somebody else commented.
Okay, I get it. Okay. Horse changes leads in workouts, also galloping, but never in a race. Any clues? Well, probably in workouts, I don't believe he's going as fast as he would go in a race. That's first of all. But in the event, if you do work him, you know, that fast, and you do maybe a quarter in 22 seconds, something like that, in the workouts, when you get a horse like that that's not switching leads, and it's not a lameness problem, then a jockey should be able to make a horse switch leads very, very easily. I mean, some horses are like that. You got to make them. You just shift your weight. You got to make them switch leads. But if the workouts are not that fast, and if the workouts are not that fast, and he switches leads fine, and he switches leads galloping, which is slow, then all I could say is if he's sound and he has no problem, just the jockey should be able to make him switch leads going into a turn, you know, going in and coming out of a turn. So I don't know what to say. I don't know. That's it. If he's sound, he should be switching leads. If he's not switching leads when he goes all out, that means maybe something's pinching him, or a good jockey will know and try to make him switch. If a good jockey is on him and he comes back after a race and says, look, I just can't make him switch leads, then there has to be a problem. But then again, there was always that match race between Alatar and, I forget which one it was. Alatar, and one of them would never switch leads. He was a world champion. He just never would switch leads. So I guess some horses are like that. They're more comfortable on their, the lead that they have to be on has to be the left lead. I mean, then they switch to the right lead in the straightaways, but I can't imagine a horse going around the turn on the right lead. But if that's the case, I can only point to that one world champion. I think it was Alatar that never switched leads, and maybe he did have a lameness problem that they couldn't fix, but and I'll tell you how important it is. And I think I mentioned this once before, how important it is for a thoroughbred to switch leads. It's like walking through the airport with a heavy suitcase, and you're walking and you're walking and walking, and then it gets to be heavy. Your gait slows down. Then you switch hands, and then all of a sudden you pick up, and that's exactly what it is with switching leads with a horse.
Mm-hmm.
Switch to the other side. But so anyway, that's it.
Redistribute the weight.
Yeah. What's the next question? Well,
George Berkner.
Oh, okay.
George Berkner.
Yeah.
George Berkner got a heart attack years and years and years back. He went to the hospital and he survived. And he called me up, and we went to I think lunch. And he had lost some weight, and we went to lunch. And he said it scared him to death, and then now he's got to go on a strict diet, this and that, and everything. And he did. And for a lot of years, he maintained his weight. And then little by little, he started gaining weight and gaining weight and gaining weight. And he wound up having a heart attack and dying. He's a really good guy. Good guy.
I remember him.
Yeah.
He had BG's Bunny.
Yeah. His brother-in-law was Lenny Schindler, who owned a mail shop in Brooklyn. That he was the first one, 40, 50 years ago, that you went in there and for $100 you got 2 suits, you got 4 pair of pants, and you got a ticket to the Bahamas. It was one of them jobs. The place was packed all the time. But if you ever got caught in the rain with one of them suits, it shrink right on your body. Anyway, George was a good guy. George was a good guy. Fun guy. Everybody liked him. Nice guy. Go ahead, Ant.
Jeffrey B. Road trip, guys. I'll pick you guys up and drive. Rick Simon. Walmart still sells Discman for like $25. I was just texting with my brother, Larry. We'll figure how to put it on a flash drive. He's going to call me tomorrow morning, and we'll get it done for you, so don't worry about
Oh,
it.
what's that thing? He says they sell Discman for $25.
Yeah, they still.
Why don't I get one of them?
Because it'll be easier on a flash drive. You put it on a flash drive, put it right in your car, listen to it over the speakers.
Yeah, that would be better.
And then you can play that flash drive in your computer or anywhere else you want.
And Dominic, do what your brother tells you. Bleach.
Oh, bleach, right? Bleach, Dominic. Yeah.
Bleach. Nothing else. Bleach.
Yeah.
Just so you know what we're talking about, Joe. Dominic's girlfriend or friend has a horse that's out in the field loaded with thrush. So I just hope the best thing. Stop with all bleach, that other stuff. Clean it out. Just get a bleach and just pour the bleach in there. Put it in a squeeze bottle and pour it in there.
Yep.
I mean, you're gonna probably hit live tissue and it'll probably jump, but it'll kill the fungus.
The fungus.
Go ahead, Ant.
Okay, Rick Simon. I'm looking for a portable Discman at Walmart. It has Bluetooth problem solved. All right, there's a Discman, he says, at Walmart that has Bluetooth. So if you play it on the Discman, then you could, get it through Bluetooth. But then you're still going to have to change CDs. So, you could be driving and still have to change them. So we'll weigh everything out and see what the best application will be.
The guy asked a question before about Vernon Downs.
Yeah.
I got a story about Vernon Downs if you want to hear it.
Yeah.
I was working as a groom, and I think I was just going on my own, and I had a brand new Oldsmobile, a black Delta 88 Royale. It was black with a beige top and a beige interior, and that's what my colors were: black, beige, and white.
Oh, hold on. Wait a minute before you go on.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked me, it was one of the questions that somebody asked me, they wanted to know what your colors were, Anthony, and what your colors were, Joe. So after your story, tell them your colors, what driving colors you had. Go ahead, Joe.
Okay, so that has nothing to do with it. But anyway, I got a brand new car. I just got it. And it's a Sunday afternoon. And I have a friend, a good friend of mine. He was a great handicapper. He really knew how to read a program, and the guy was really good. And it was Sunday. It was about 1:30 in the afternoon. But I remember we were in the first quarter of a football game. We were watching, we bet the football games. And he's looking at the sports eye. He's reading the sports eye. And he says, Joe, he said, I love this horse tonight in Vernon Downs. It's a Sunday night. Now, we're in Long Island. We're like in exit 36 off the expressway in Long Island, Searingtown Road. He lived. So he says, let's go to Vernon Downs for the big race. I said, Jeff, it's 4 or 5 hours away. He said, come on, we got nothing to do. What are you going to do? Bet football all day? He said, let's go. He said, I really like this horse tonight. So I say, all right. So I go fill up my car with gas. We get a case of Heineken, and we start driving. And he's telling me how much he loves Jade Prince. Jade Prince was a John Copus horse. He was an entry that night up in Vernon Downs. He was racing against a horse named Senor Skipper, who was the best horse around at the time. Buddy Gilmore went up there to drive him that night for the race. So he tells me, he said, Joe, I really think that he got a shot of beating Senor Skipper. So I said, Jeff, I don't think so. I said, this horse is, really good. He said, Joe, I think the way the races are going to go, he's going to beat him. Well, long story short, I got 3,000 or 4,000 on me, and he had a couple of thousand on him. And I said, all right, let's go. When we get in my car, we go. We get there. I think post time was 7 o'clock, but he was in a later race. We got there plenty of time. So anyway, when the race comes, Jade Prince is like 6-1 or 8-1, and Senor Skipper is like 3-5. And Senor Skipper had the 8-hole. So we bet $300 or $400 into the race, keying Jade Prince. So the race goes off, and Buddy Gilmore wins the race with Senor Skipper. Jade Prince finishes second. But Senor Skipper makes a break at the wire. Lapped on break at the wire. They took him down. They placed Jade Prince first and Senor Skipper second. So we made like a good score for those days. We were 20 years old, 21 years old. So I think with the three or 4,000 I had on me before I left, and the score, which I made about 8,000 myself, and my friend bet a little less. He probably made a couple of thousand. Between us, we had like 15,000 on us. So we're leaving the races. We're all happy. We hit the race. We got lucky. They take the other horse down. So I said, what do you want to do? So he said, let's go for a drink. So I said, all right. We're in Vernon Downs. And the first bar we hit was a place called the Black Stallion. Now, I never been to Vernon Downs before. I mean, I raced there many times afterwards, but this was my first time at Vernon Downs. So we go into this bar, me and him, and we were totally out of place. It was all rednecks and, So my friend, he's about 6'6", but he was a basketball player. But he was a nerdy kind of guy. But he bumps into this girl by mistake, okay? And the girl smacks him in the mouth.
Ooh.
I mean, she just turned around and cracked him right in the mouth. We just walked into the place. So I said, oh, what's going on? What's going on? She says, your friend bumped into me. I said, listen, He don't mean nothing by it. The guy was harmless. I said, we're drinking a little bit. He might have bumped into you. It's an honest mistake. So all of a sudden, about 6 guys got up, and they come pretty close to us. So me, naturally, I went to the biggest guy, and I said, listen, I said, we just came from the racetrack. I says, we're just stopping for a drink. I said, I apologize. My friend bumped into the girl, but he didn't mean nothing by it. So I sort of calmed everything down. So I said, let me buy you guys all a drink, and let's, let it go. It was an accident. So we're sitting there for hours, and they're drinking, and we got a pocket full of money. I'm sure they've seen it. And I'm buying them pitchers of beer and stuff, and I end up sitting with the girl. So 2 or 3 hours go by, and we're getting ready to leave, and I can't find my friend. I can't find him. So I'm saying, where could he be? I says, I got the car, I got the keys. And what happens was, after an hour or so, we sort of gave up, and the girl says to me, listen, can you give me a ride home? I says, oh, aren't you with these guys? She says, no, I'm not with them. They just hang out here. I was talking to her all night. So I says, you know what? Maybe this is going to be a really good night. So long story short, I'm taking her home, and we go down this dirt road, and it's a cornfield on each side of me, like tall stalks of corn, and you can only fit one car on it. So we go about a mile through these cornfields, and I get to a house, and something's telling me, Joe, you got to get out of here. This is a setup. Like God was with me. He was like St. Joe. I'm a pretty street smart at the time, and I'm saying, no, this is too good to be true. You got to get out of here. So I didn't know how to handle it with the girl, so I said, listen, she had 3 Rottweilers on her porch. She had a big porch. It was an old house with a wraparound porch, and, the wooden porch. And there was 3 or 2 Rottweilers or Doberman pinchers. So I said to her, listen, I says, I don't trust those dogs too much. I says, can you lock the dogs up, because I'm a little scared of the dogs, which was not true. But I figure when she get out of the car, I'm going to take off, because I know something ain't right here. Okay? So as soon as she gets out of the car, she says, all right. I take off 100 miles an hour. I go down this dirt road, and all of a sudden, I'm about a half a mile in, back to the road, and here comes a pickup truck. It had about 8 or 10 guys on it. Okay? And I went to the right of them, and I crashed through the cornfield and went around them and drove at it like 100 miles an hour. Thank God I did that, because they were setting me up. I mean, I had a lot of money on me, and, I'm in the middle of Vernon Downs. This was 50 years ago. So make a long story short, I get out of there, and I got to find my friend. I can't find my friend. So I wait till daylight, and I'm looking around. And I really thought that since they were setting me up, that they already got him. Okay, they probably robbed him and killed him and threw him somewhere. So I don't know what to do. I was going to call his mother, his father. I didn't know what to do. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning now. So I'm just getting ready to go to the police station and tell them what happened. And I go into a gas station and get gas, and I see a flatbed truck. There was a blue canvas in it, and my friend was wearing purple Converse All-Stars. And all I seen was his sneakers sticking out underneath the canvas. So I says, I hope he's not dead. So I go over there. Sure enough, he's sleeping. He told me, he says, I left, Joe. I didn't feel good. We had a lot to drink. I got a little nauseous, and I looked for a place to lay down. So that night, I thought I don't know what would have happened if I didn't leave, but they would definitely set me up,
Probably been
and
dead.
we would have been dead. They would have.
Would've been
Thank
dead.
God I got that feeling to get out of there. But this girl was, I was 2 hours there with her. Very nice, very good looking. I'm 21 years old, and I'm saying,
Yeah.
boy, I gotta hit the triple. I hit the exacta. Now I got the girl and everything. What a
What a
night this
score.
was! And thank God I got out of there. I found my friend the last minute. I was just getting ready to call his mother and father after I was going to go to the police station, and I found him, and it all worked out. But it could have been a really bad night, really bad night.
Anthony, start off with Eric. Joe, you should be in the Hall of Fame.
All right, you want to know about colors, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh,
that's
your colors there. Oh, what's that? Purple and gold?
That's blue and gold.
Oh, blue and gold. Very
I
nice. What about you, Joe?
I still got mine.
What colors?
Black, beige, and white.
Black, beige, and white.
Yeah.
Mine were the first half of my career, they were purple and gold. In the second half of my
They were
career,
gray and blue.
they were blue and tan.
Yeah, blue and tan. Right.
Tan. All right, continue.
Eric says, Joe, you should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah. Barry Cox.
I don't know how that works. I mean, as far as training titles and races won, I mean, nobody won as many training titles as me. And I don't think anybody won as many races as me. The thing is that
training titles, no.
And the years that I didn't win the training title, I was always second, second or third. So I don't know how that works, but
yeah,
it's all politics, and they hate me, so I would never get in the shot. The Ray Schnitka group, the crew runs that, and
Go ahead, Ant.
Larry Cox, I'm going to Mohawk Saturday, June 14th. $1 million purse, North American pace. Jeffrey B, nothing better than watching racing at Yonkers on a February night. I love standing at the top of the stretch. Jeffrey B, Larry, when was the last time you went to Jackson Heights to your childhood home?
Jeffrey B, he must know me because who else would know that I come from Jackson Heights. The last time I was there, I was coming from my sister's house out in Long Island, and the turnpike was bumper to bumper, and rather than go stay on there and go, not the turnpike, the Long Island Expressway, rather than stay to the end and go through the tunnel through the city, I got off at 108th Street and I went down to where I was raised in Jackson Heights. So you get off at 108th Street, that's Corona, and then you go straight down to right my house. And that area there it turned into a bad area from like 82nd Street to maybe 94th Street between Astoria Boulevard and Roosevelt Avenue. It became the biggest drug den in the whole country, they said back then. And I went down the street I lived. I lived on 91st Street between I had the corner house, 91st Street and 30th Avenue. And they had all the windows with wire, with bars on them, all the doors. The whole thing was fenced in. Whoever bought it did a good job fixing it up, but every window and every door had it was like a big cage. And that was the last time I drove all around the blocks there, and it was just about the same, except for the bars on the windows. Go ahead, Ant.
Stephen Tester, Larry, those horses' names that Dr. Gerard switched were Cinzano and Lebanon.
That's exactly right. That's it. Cinzano and Lebanon. Lebanon won it. Yeah, and when he said that it was, I forget which one was the better one. I think it was Lebanon. I don't know. I'm not sure which one was the better one, but the one that that won. I think that's right. He went over 57-1, and it was really the best horse in Uruguay, and he got caught. Yeah, how did this guy know? Stephen?
Well,
Yeah, how did I know?
well, yeah, he knows that. But this guy, Jeffrey B., Larry's house on your mother's block. Larry's house is on your mother's block. Now go for over $1 million. I know. I lived on 90th Street. On 90th Street.
Wait, Larry's house on your mother's block, now going for over $1 million. I know. I lived on 90th Street. Wow. I had two houses there. One my brother, and one was my mother's.
Hmm.
And my brother lived. My mother lived in a corner house. That's where we all grew up. And my brother bought a house halfway up the block in the middle of the block. That house is going for $1 million now. Wow. I think we paid 30,000-40,000 for them houses.
Probably less than that.
Oh, this guy Jeffrey Bean, he must. Well, he says he lived on 90th Street.
Lived on 90th, yeah. So
Yeah, wow. Well, 90th Street. The next street was 89th Street, and that's where Dickie Moria lived. Burt Young.
oh,
He
okay.
lived between 30th Avenue and Astoria Boulevard. He lived right on that street. It was the next block from you, Jeffrey. Burt Young. That's who's Dickie Moria. I don't know if you know him. If you knew him, let us know. Go ahead, Ed.
Eric, do you guys remember driver Silda Campbell? Drove
Yes.
the Pocono and always wore all black. Jeffrey B. Lou Quaglietta wore a Santa outfit one Christmas and won a race wearing it.
Who?
Luke Willett.
Steve Basil. Basil.
Yeah.
I don't know, Steve, if I'm butchering your name or not. Who's this? Migliori once said the same suitcase comparison regarding switch leads. It's so important to racing success.
Say that again. Migliori once said that the same suitcase comparison regarding switching leads. It's so important to racing success. Right. So he agreed with me, right?
It sounds like it, yeah.
Migliori was a Hall of Fame jockey, New York jockey, Italian kid,
Yeah.
great rider. Okay.
Angelique. Hello, Michael, Larry, Cox, Jeffrey, Stephen, Eric, Rick, and Dominic. Jeffrey B. Hello, Angelique. Larry Cox. Hello, Angelique. Steve Beza. Hello, Angelique. Edward DeLauro. Copper Cox. Yeah, that's with the thrush. Jeffrey B.
That green stuff.
Yeah.
That was
messy
garbage.
shit.
That wasn't no good.
Bleach.
Bleach was the best thing.
Forget about copper tox and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Bleach.
you're right.
Bleach. You get a whole gallon for what you would pay for a 2-ounce bottle of that green shit, and it gets all over you.
It was disgusting.
Yeah, it's a mess. It was a friggin' mess.
And it did nothing.
Jeffrey B. Those Delta 88s were beautiful.
Oh, what a nice
Angelique.
car.
Hello, Joe.
Hey,
Telio. Jeffrey B. Little Neck OTB. Only OTB open at night. Long time ago.
yep.
The guy, the Black Stallion is still open.
Really?
Oh yeah, the Black Stallion is still open. Dave Guy said. Jeffrey B. Dave, are you serious? Wow, still open. Jeffrey B. Always a woman to cause problems at bars. It's not going to hit.
Yeah, they really would hit a home run, because back down between us, we had to have 15,000 on us, and who knows? They would never found me. It was like
Yeah.
a field in Goodfellas where they brought the guy up to give him a beating. They buried him. The corn stalks were like 6 feet high on each side, and there was only a dirt road going through to the house.
Man,
And when I left, about halfway down, I seen headlights, and I said, "Look at this!" And it was like 8 guys in the back of the pickup truck, plus who was in it. I would have got.
Big
Oh
guy.
man,
same owners today. Sundance. Hi, Larry, Anthony, Joe. Angelique.
Hey.
Hello, Sundance. I kept trying to put my email last time to give it to you, but wasn't working. Sundance. Angelique tried to send you an email, and it said I had the wrong email. Angelique. On the 2103 is all numbers. Sundance. Hi, Rick Simon. Sundance. I put those numbers in, but it didn't work. Rick Simon. Joe. They were trying to set you up before you even walked in because they probably wanted that brand new Delta 88. She planned to slap your something, your friend. You should call Frankie Loke on them. Ooh. Jeffrey B.
Well,
Colors of the Lakers.
thank God I realized that something was up.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
Because,
Jeffrey B. Blue and gold.
I mean, here's a girl that smacked my friend. He's 6'6", and like we were in the bar for 2 minutes, and we just went in to sit down at the table, and boom, she smacked him in the mouth like, oh my God, he almost went on his ass. He went back so far.
And you left with her?
Yeah, I left with her because we made peace. We're
That
buying
didn't tell you
everybody drinks all
anything?
night. You know, and everybody was okay, and I ended up sitting at the table with her, and but it was all you know, it was all a setup.
Yep. Rick Simon, hi Sundance. Sundance, hello Rick. Jeffrey B, anyone know when Eddie is racing horses again? Been on fire lately. Jeffrey B, I grew up a couple of blocks away from 1969 to 1986. Got to be talking to you, Larry. Jeffrey B, I was on 90th Street, Asteroid Boulevard, the other side of Astoria Boulevard. Sundance, hit the like button, ring the bell, and subscribe there. Thanks, Sundance, for reminding everybody. Angelique, that's really weird, Sundance. Larry Cox, Anthony and Joe, you ever race in the little brown jug? I know Larry has. No, I never did.
No, I didn't either.
No. Sundance, Angelique, I found the first one you gave me. It didn't come through on Tommy's show. Angelico, Jeffrey B, oh wow, never knew that. Sundance, Larry, I should come read for you. Yeah, Sundance wants to come and read the book for you.
Oh,
Larry.
there you go, Larry. You and the dog.
Yeah. Jeffrey B, a mobster owned a nightclub, 88th Street, 23rd Ave, got murdered around 1973.
The hottest nightclub back in them days, I guess it was the 50s, late 50s, was a place right by LaGuardia Airport called Conrad's. A black guy owned it. His name was Conrad. It was the busiest place. You couldn't even get in there. And one night, I used to go there all the time. And one night, I get a phone call from a friend of mine, Carl. He's been dead a long time. And he says, I says, you going there tonight? He says, don't go. Stay away from there tonight. And that was the night they killed him. The mob guys were trying to, shake him down, wanted a piece of the place, and he kept turning them down. And they killed him that night. It was Conrad's, right by the airport.
Wow.
The other famous place up there was called the Toon Timers on Northern Boulevard in 82nd Street. Go ahead, Ant.
Angelique, the first one I gave you at the end is also numbers. Angelique, Sundance. Rick Simon, hello, Angelique. Sundance, Angelique. I put 2103. Eric, Joe, I can relate. Met a girl in Atlantic City, drove them home to the Bronx, and waiting for me were 3 thugs with baseball bats. They set me up. I reversed 2 blocks and went through many red lights.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, that's the Bronx for you. Angelique, I wonder why it didn't go through. You also put, and she's given email addresses. I must just try to see why it didn't go through. Angelique, Sundance, Jeffrey B. Did you guys race at Yonkers Raceway when the fair went all around the track?
Yeah. I got a matter of fact, one of the races I'm going to send you, Anthony,
Yeah.
was during the Westchester County Fair.
Oh, wow.
You could
Okay,
see the
good.
Ferris wheel and all of the stuff running around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was,
Jeffrey B. Yes, Larry. 88th Street, 23rd Ave.
I don't remember. I just know it was by LaGuardia Airport. It was really a good place. And he happened to be a really nice guy, too. But good-looking black guy. Nice guy. All right, folks. That's it. We
That's
talked
it.
a little bit about horses. Anthony told me, gave me strict orders. Make sure you end this thing at 9 o'clock. Sorry, Ant. We went over by 10
That's
minutes.
all right. That's close enough.
where you going, Ant?
I got an early day tomorrow. I got a lot of work to do tomorrow.
He's tired. I'm
Yeah.
tired. I got a big day tomorrow. I have to. You know who I'm going to meet tomorrow?
No.
Leonard Marshall. Do you remember Leonard Marshall, the football player in the '80s for the Giants?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Taylor?
Marshall. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm going to meet him. I'm going to meet him tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
My cousin's house. My cousin's really good friends with him, and we got to talk about some business. So
All right.
I'm gonna go down there. That's why, and it takes me like an hour and a half to get to where I have to go. If I would have had a CD player, I could have listened to it. But
Hey,
anyway,
if you're starting up a football game,
Me and my brother come up with for you. We'll figure something out.
well,
let us know.
what I
Let us
really
know what team is.
what?
Let us know which team is not going to cover when you speak to Leonard
No,
Marshall.
he retired some
I
20
know.
years ago.
I know, but you said you got to take care of business, and you don't. You only
No,
know new business.
Yeah, we don't know what business you mean.
Legitimate business.
Oh, legitimate business. Okay.
He's a really nice guy. My cousin speaks very, very highly of him.
Oh, good.
Okay.
All right.
So
So Thursday. You got
Thursday,
the
no,
first
we're
string,
off
right?
Thursday. We're off.
Wait a minute. Hold it. There's a couple of more here. Guy
Okay.
wants to know, wait, does Eddie have anything coming up? He must. He's hiding. Eddie's hiding. He says he
hiding.
might come on, send him a link. He's hiding. So
Yeah.
who knows? I don't know. And Eric
He'll let
says
us know.
Howard always been announcing at Monticello.
Howard Oil. No, Jerry
Howard
Cole was the announcer there for quite a while.
Yeah.
Remember, he used to announce at Roosevelt in the grandstand.
Oh, Jerry Bland?
Howard Oil.
Howard Oil.
Before he got the job in Monticello, he used to announce the races coming up the escalator at Roosevelt Raceway. He would be calling races.
Wow.
He'd sit there with a program and call the races, and he'd go through the whole card. And he called the race really well, and he got noticed, and he got the job in Monticello.
Wow.
He would just
Interesting.
stand there.
Yeah, cool.
All right. Sundance asked me, how's Buddy? Buddy is in good shape, Sundance. So he's okay. He's all right. Okay, that's it, guys.
That's it. See you next Tuesday. Well, Thursday. Tune in Thursday.
Thursday. No, Tuesday. Next.
No,
what's
Thursday. You're going to be on Thursday.
Thursday's the 18th. And then Tuesday, you got third
Right.
string.
Right.
Right. Right, Anthony?
Yeah, that's right.
So,
Let me get that in. Now I got.
We're on the bench.
Should I play that song? It's getting late. Yeah.
you know what you should do? I was
What?
thinking about it.
What?
Oh, you can't play a Frank Sinatra song, right?
No,
No.
I play it. I the other day, last week when we had Jimmy Christie and doing all that Sinatra stuff, I got a letter from YouTube and screen. You can't be doing that. They're gonna block me.
Yeah, I
They're
was just going to say you should play a Frank Sinatra song every week, but you can't.
You
no,
can't.
they get mad. You know, they
Yeah.
say once in a while we'll just
Let it go.
demonetize you. Mean you get no money.
Yeah, but then you keep doing it, they're going to screw you. They're going to take you
Doing
off.
it, you can't do it. They
No,
throw you
wow.
off.
Yeah.
That's like Skinny Joe Molino. He keeps cursing all the time. They throw him off. They won't monetize him. Nothing.
Anthony,
the money means
me,
anything.
me and you got no letters, but we got demonetized all the time.
Yeah, right, exactly.
We got
Yes,
no
sir.
letters.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I could play. It's getting late because it's not. It's my friend wrote it for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Getting Late's a good song.
Yeah, I'm gonna play that. So we're gonna go.
Okay.
All right.
I'll see you next
Yeah.
Tuesday. It's us again. So
Yeah.
we have to think of some more. Maybe
Think of
Oh, you know what? Maybe you'll have Mario's races by then.
Yeah, I think his son was coming in today, so maybe I'll hear from him tomorrow.
Yeah, and I'll get you those races too.
Yeah, give me those races, Joe, so we can play.
Listen, Anthony, if you do get that race from Mario, you have some races from him already. Call him up and ask him if he wants to come on next Tuesday.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, definitely.
All right?
Yep.
Okay, I'll leave it up to you. Okay.
I'll let you know, Larry, about the flash drive for that thing. Well, I'm going to talk to Dominic tomorrow morning. We'll figure something out.
Well, I'm going to go. They got to be a company around here that you just give them the CDs and they put it on a flash drive. I don't know how to do that.
That's going to take. Let me find out tomorrow first.
All right.
Hey, anybody out there got a prescription for Ozempic that they're not using?
For a what?
Ozempic.
What's that?
Why do you want to take that for?
Because I'm gaining some weight.
Nah, don't use that shit. You do it
I was
your own.
on it. I was on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The doctor wanted to put me on it. Nah, I don't want to take any.
What's
Whoa,
Ozempic?
whoa. The doctor wants to put you on it?
She wanted to. I told her
Yeah,
no.
tell her you want it.
she's
Anthony, I'm serious.
No, serious, Joe. She moved to Black Mountain, so she's not my doctor anymore. Now I have this other doctor, and she
Why
never.
can't you get it, Joe?
Because the insurance don't cover it.
No, it's expensive.
I'm not diabetic.
Yeah.
And the insurance don't cover it, and it's $1,300. My insurance covered it for 5 weeks. And then I was getting it from another lady in my father's condo near him, one of his neighbors, because it was bothering her stomach, so she couldn't take it. So I was paying for the prescription, the copay, and I lost like 60 pounds on it. But now I've been off it, and I gained 20 pounds back, and I'm pissed off because I was doing good.
Why don't you just stop eating?
Yeah, like Larry tells me.
Yeah, well,
how many times a day I eat?
I know it's tough. But anybody got any Ozempic prescriptions? I'm willing to.
My co-pay was pretty high too. That's another reason why I didn't do it.
I'm willing to pay a copay on top of a copay. I'll pay a copay and a Joe pay.
And a JPEG.
So
all right, guys, I'm going.
All right, goodbye. See you.
Bye. See you.
No, I'll see you. I'm going to end this thing right now with it's getting late.
Okay.
See you Tuesday.
See you Tuesday.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Dump those grudges, ditch those judges. They're just weighing you down. Drop the haters, procrastinators, 'cause one man's smile is just another one's frown. When it's time for the end, ain't no warning, my friend. One day you're here, next stop the pearly gates. So listen close to what I'm saying. Lighten up, it's getting late. Dump collections, self-reflections, they're just covered in dust. Why obsess, worry or stress? Just ask yourself, what's the fuss? When your doctor calls you on a Sunday afternoon, gonna be a blue Monday, you'll be howling at the moon. You know you never can cheat fate. Lighten up, it's getting late. Forget bling and glitter, text and Twitter. Don't need it to to face. Dump the users, soul abusers, turn and walk away. Give yourself a kick in the ass, then raise your glass. Let's toast to the past and make the most of today. Keep the faith, rise above, do the things that you love. Find a reason every day to celebrate. So listen close to what I'm saying. Lighten up, it's getting late. Live it well, have a blast. Live it full, life goes fast. Carrying around too much dead weight. All the simple things are all that matter. Lighten up, it's getting late. Oh, what the hell? IGL. Oh, lighten up, it's getting late.
Night, folks.